Hello, this is Brendan Line with DJ Prescott, and today we're going to go over the dashboard of ZoneScanNet. ZoneScanNet is the cloud-based website that you will log into to view any correlations, log or noise, print and manage reports for your leak detection efforts. So we'll just go over the dashboard, what some of the features, benefits have. So we're currently in leak detection mode under view in the top left. That is the standard as far as viewing your data. Project name is just the customer's name. Area name is whatever area name you've created and deployed your loggers into. That's what we're viewing on the map currently. Measurement period date would be the date that you're viewing. You can always scroll back different days, previous days. The printer icon is just where you can go to print different reports. And over to your right, you'll notice three different tabs: correlations, logger noise, and also events. We'll start with logger noise. So each morning when ZoneScan loggers report their data to the website, each sensor is given a leak score value from 0 to 100. 0 is quiet, 100 is very loud. So each day, every logger will be given that number, and also a color will be associated with that as well. So green is fairly quiet, yellow is medium noise, and red would be your high level noise. Over here to your left under logger noise, these are just simple filters for what you're seeing in the logger noise tab to the right. So if I go ahead and deselect the red, you'll notice they'll disappear to the right. So just make sure that you're always checking each box so that way if something shows up that's yellow, you'll see it to the right, or red, or also green. So again, each morning you will get a new leak score, and what you're looking for with that is just any change from a low leak score to an unusual high number would indicate a potential leak. Then in correlations tab, you will see a percentage. Correlation is actually two sensors that hear the same leak noise. So in order to have a correlation, both loggers need to hear the same leak noise. If not, there will be no correlation. And typically, if that happens, you'll just notice one logger will have a high leak score. And maybe that could be just because the loggers were too far apart, or the leak itself had a poor quality and wasn't able to travel the entire pipe length to reach both sensors. But if a correlation does exist, you will see it over here on the right-hand side under correlations. Um, Different types of correlations would be either a red blister spot, which would be 80% or higher correlation, which essentially just means each sensor is hearing that leak 8 out of 10 times. So they're both hearing the leak very, very well. Yellow would be below 80%. Double-headed arrow would mean if the logger is not attached to the pipe, and therefore it just cannot do the mathematical problem to figure out the distance between those two, because it uses the pipe information to verify that actual distance. And then outer bracket arrow means that you do have the loggers attached to the pipe, but the leak is somewhere beyond those two sensors. And again, the correlations tab is a filter for what we're viewing to the right. So again, if we turn off the reds disappear. So just make sure that we're having all these columns checked, all the boxes checked. Unsynchronized doesn't need to be checked, but you definitely need these top 5. Events are any events that you have created on any potential leaks you had, or maybe non-leaks. We'll get into that in a minute. And then, of course, everything's Google Maps. So you have your map view, your satellite view, and you even have your street view images. Street View is very convenient. If you have a correlation, it's always nice to be able to look around for any potential curb boxes or anything else in the area that could be picking up a leak noise. Maybe there's a PRV pit nearby. It's just an extra tool to help you before you go out in the field and do your investigations. So let's talk about correlations here for a minute. We have a correlation between logger 19 and logger 25, and that would be 100% correlation between this logger here and the logger down at the end of Lexington Avenue. This red circle would be the correlation. And it looks like based off the pipe information that's drawn, this is the customer's GIS. So the GIS can be imported as well. It looks like it's cast iron pipe and 6 inches. So based off of that information and how long that time delay as far as the leak sound travel from each sensor, the algorithm is basically the total length of pipe, material and diameter, and then the time delay between the leak noise and each sensor. That brings us to right around this area to where Zone ScanNet believes the leak sound is coming from. So if this is a consistent correlation showing up on a daily basis, it's worthwhile to investigate. One of the first things you want to do is verify that pipe information is correct. If it's not, you can always right click on the line and change the material. You can change the diameter, and you can also even update the length. So if you wheel off valve to valve and it's not 283 feet and it's a different measurement, you can simply enter that in and select OK, and the correlation will automatically adjust accordingly. But let's just assume this is correct. So now with this correlation selected, we can come to our printer icon on the top and then select correlation report. Go ahead and select open. And now you will see your work order to go out and do your investigations. So if you take a look down here, you will see logger 1 and logger 2. ZoneScan always provides a logger 1 and logger 2. So logger 1 is logger 19, logger 2 is 25, and then the distance to the leak from each logger is listed. So 183.9 feet from logger 1, and then 401 feet from logger 2 is where you would wheel off to start listening with your ground microphone, verifying any service lines nearby and also the main line. And below you will also see a cross correlation report showing your big spike where that red, this is actually the red spot, is the tall peak in this area. So the report can be printed. You can go out and do your investigations, and then you can also print these reports and save them on your desktop to track your leaks you've found throughout the year. So it's a little bit on your reports. Once you go ahead and do your investigation, you can go ahead and create an event. As you can see, the customer has done so. You can simply right click on the blister spot, create an event, and now you can go ahead and tag it as investigation, meaning you haven't investigated it yet. It's just something that you need to do. You can also tag it as a leak, customer side leak, or no leak. Once you do that, it gives you options to fill in repair dates, leak sizes, soil composition, and then you can type in any type of information as far as that leak pair goes. And when you save it, you will see a little flag that documents the event. And that will stay there forever. Even when the leak is fixed, the blister spot goes away. You will notice that the event remains. So it's a friendly reminder of that leak that was repaired along Lexington Avenue. And then a little bit on the logger noise side of things. Since this is a fixed-based system, you do have the ability to see historical data, which is very convenient for tracking leak run times. Um, if you notice this particular logger here, the red one is leak score of 100. So what you can do is right click on any logger, go to history charts, and if you go to AI predictor and go to leak score, here you can see when a leak score has begun to increase, and you can view a time span of 1 month all the way up to full history. So if we go to 3 months, we're viewing a 3 month time span. And over here in your Y coordinate is your leak score, 0 to 100. And these are days on the bottom of each day that logger reported. As you can see, it was a very low leak score from the beginning or from the end of October 24. Then all of a sudden on January 16th of 2025, there was a little bit of a leak score, and it's steadily increasing each day to 100. So eventually, when this leak gets inspected, investigated, and repaired, then you will see that leak score back down to 0, and that you can count your leak run time based off of the number of days. And also make sure that the leak was repaired correctly and no other leaks happened in the area.